Okay, welcome back. If indeed you did watch any of my other videos, this video is going to be about my desktop setup, from monitors to storage and everything in between. Let's go. Okay, so firing straight in with monitors. I use two 27-inch monitors. My primary monitor is the BenQ SW2700PT, which is specifically made for photographers. I calibrate this monitor using a Spider calibration system, Spider with a Y. It's a piece of hardware that sits on the monitor. And with this piece of hardware, I use it in conjunction with a piece of software called DisplayCal. Now that's freeware and you can find it at displaycal.net. This isn't a technical review of how to do that, but that's what I use. Both my monitors are attached to Ergo Ascend gas arms, one on the left, one on the right. Now these gas arms are £200 each, which is very expensive, but I managed to get two for £95 from eBay. So who says there's no bargains to be gotten on eBay? Great bargain. These gas arms are brilliant. I tried a few other gas arms with Vessers, which were nowhere near as good as these ones, but I definitely wouldn't pay £210 each for them, but £95 for both. Always a bargain to be had if you've got the time to take a look and you don't rush into purchasing it. My secondary monitor is a very cheap Hans G monitor, which I bought in 2015 and still use. I don't really use it for anything else apart from putting YouTube videos on there. Netflix I put on there sometimes when I've got a full day editing. I'll side-eye something on Netflix. Normally something that's not very good, so I don't pay too much attention to that while I'm trying to get through lots of images from a wedding. So there we go, two 27-inch monitors, the BenQ SW2700PT and a cheap Hans G monitor. The BenQ is in 2K QHD 2560 by 1440, and the Hans G is just 1920 by 1080, I do believe. I know that I have to make things smaller when I move things across from the 2K monitor to the 1920 by 1080. I think that's right. There you go, that's my monitors. With regards to sound, I've just upgraded from the Yamaha AG06, which was good, but not really where I wanted my audio to be. I needed something better. Audio is really important. Audio and lighting always going to be up there when you're doing things like this. So I was using the Yamaha AG06 with a pod mic. The mixer didn't really have enough gain for the mic itself, but now I've moved on from the AG06 with the pod mic. Now I'm using the Rodecaster Pro with the Shure SM7B. This one here sounds brilliant. Not a million miles away from the quality of the pod mic, but there's an obvious increase in quality there. When I bought the Rodecaster Pro, I also bought a cloud lifter to go with it, which enables you to have sensible volumes without having to push the gain all the way up to power a mic like this one. The speaker system that I use is just a quite cheap Logitech 2-to-1 system, two satellite speakers and a sub which goes under the desk. It's the Logitech 7533, which again I bought quite a long time ago, but it's ample for me and what I need it for. I don't really get into the audiophile type quality things, so that's brilliant for if I want to listen to music while I'm working. Most of the time if I'm monitoring stuff, I'll use headphones anyway rather than the speaker system. The headphones I use are the Sony MDR7506, which sound fantastic. I do a little bit of DJing as well, and while I'm DJing to monitor and cue my tracks, I use the Sennheiser HD25 Mark IIs, which are also great, but these are nice for this type of environment. But I don't think while DJing I'll be able to use anything else but the HD25 from Sennheiser. It's just something that I've used for a lot of years. But these, the Sony MDR7506 headphones, are brilliant. Under £100 if I remember rightly, and you're going to get great sound from them. Oh, just another little thing before I forget. This here is the Rode PSA1 boom arm, which works really well. I've also bought the extension here just to make things easier to move around. Definitely highly recommend getting the extension, but also definitely highly recommend the PSA1 by Rode to put your mic on. Great price for this boom arm, and it will do everything you need it to do. Perfect. Keyboard and mouse. I use a Ducky One mechanical keyboard with MX Red Cherry switches. Brilliant keyboard. A £10 keyboard will do pretty much the same job, but you're just not getting that quality. But Ducky One do some superb mechanical keyboards, and in all types of colors. You can change the keys on them, lift them out and put different ones in. They actually give you some spare keys which are different colors. Quality item, but again, you'll pay for it. This one cost me about £120, which is fairly expensive for a keyboard, but it will last. Quality lasts. Buy cheap twice and all that. On saying that, the mouse I used was pretty cheap. I use a vertical mouse, as I found the smaller ones I'm kind of pressing my wrist in as I'm working it, so I like my wrist to be higher and not pressing into the desk, as that can result in some pains down there. It's basically a mouse which allows you not to press your wrist into the desk, which can cause problems. This was really cheap. This one's the Trust Gaming GXT 144, and it's brilliant, if I'm honest with you. I've used this for quite a while now. It's an ergonomic mouse to stop things like carpal tunnel and just nasty pains from a long day's work holding onto a mouse. So there we go. Ducky One mechanical keyboard with Red Cherry MX switches and the Trust Gaming GXT 144 mouse, the ergonomic mouse. So expensive keyboard, but quite a cheap mouse. So external storage, I use a NAS, a network attached storage system. Mine is the Synology DS416, which is 4 bay, and it's got 8 terabytes in it. I run it on a RAID 1, I think. It's a while since I've set it up, so I only get to use 4 terabytes of that, because the other 4 terabytes is mirroring and backing up the 4 terabytes that I'm using. I hope I've got that right. I don't use this to the extent it can be used. There's millions of apps and different things you can do. I just like the security as a wedding photographer, knowing that if one of my hard drives goes wrong, it's backed up by another hard drive straight away. I also back up that system to an online system called CrashPlan, and that's constantly updating all the time and backing up. So I've definitely got the security of not losing anybody's wedding pictures. So that's the Synology DS416, which is 8 terabytes, using only 4 terabytes of the capacity of 8 terabytes as 4 and 4 mirrored. Okay, so camera batteries. Bit of a roller coaster ride for me with camera batteries, but now I only use original Sony NP FZ100 batteries. I did actually order a few of these, which were a great price on eBay. Too good to be true, and yes it was. When I got them, they weren't original batteries. The hologram that you see there was dodgy, so I sent them back and got my money back. Also, I've used RAV batteries as well, RAV Power, which were ideal, but now there's a nag screen on there saying, basically Sony saying, "Oi, you're not using our batteries, use our batteries. You can only use our batteries." I use the Sony A7 III. The RAV Power batteries are just as good in my opinion. They probably don't last just as long. I've never timed it, but that nag screen can't be dealing with, and it comes back every time you update your software as well. Sony are pretty on it. I actually don't like that Sony don't allow you to use other batteries in their cameras. That nag screen, nobody wants that nag screen every time they turn their camera on. So I mean, it's clever on Sony's part, but again, the RAV batteries are good, but that nag screen, no. My battery chargers and other things run through 2 Atolla USB 3 powered hubs, which have been superb. You can never have enough USB sockets attached to the computer as well. Also on the Atolla, there's some for fast charging and some which aren't for fast charging. There's an on and off switch on every input. I've had no problems whatsoever with these Atolla powered hubs. They've been absolutely brilliant, can't complain at all, and will just just use them until they break. Card readers, I use a SanDisk Extreme card reader, which is USB-C. I thought that I'd be getting things to go much faster using USB-C, but then realized that my powered buses didn't have USB-C, so I had to get a converter for that anyway, so that probably slowed it down. But I'm not really too bothered about transfer times, because when I'm transferring images over in their thousands, I'll always find something else that needs doing while that's happening. So if it saves me 20-30 seconds by having it USB-C, it's not really that important to me. We can multitask, we can do something else whilst that's happening. It was a mistake on my part buying a USB-C card reader, but then, like I said, I'm not in that much of a hurry to save 30-40 seconds. Multitasking can be done. There's always something else that can be happening while you're waiting for something else to finish. My office chair is the Adapt 600 Ergo chair. Now this chair to buy is between £600 and £700, which is an awful lot of money. I do believe that you need to spend quite a lot of money on your chair with the amount of hours that you're going to be spending in it. So looking after your back, really. If you're editing 10 hours a day, 6 days a week, it's going to take its toll if you're in a cheap, nasty chair, which is really going to hurt, and it does. I've used cheap chairs, I've used middle of the road chairs, and this is the first really expensive chair that I've used, and it's brilliant. It's got the blow up lumber in it. You set it exactly how you want it, so you're sat in a decent position to go the whole day without getting aches and pains. So for those of you that don't know, my office is at the bottom of the garden, so heating is quite important for me to get right. After trying several different ways, I've actually settled on an infrared heater which goes under the desk. It's a curved panel heater, and the heat that comes from it doesn't heat the air, it heats things and bones and people. So the infrared heat sticks to wherever it's closest to. So I find it perfect for heating under the desk, and it's good for joints as well. Not those kind of joints, physical human joints. So it's heating your legs and your feet and your knees in the cold winter days. I've also got a cheap blow heater, so when it is really cold outside, the blow heater will bring things to temperature for me. I'll switch that off, and then the infrared panel heater will keep that temperature. It's so easy to heat such a small space like this anyway. I highly recommend infrared heaters, panel heaters. They're cost efficient as well. They cost hardly anything with regard to your energy bills. Definitely get one, stick it under your desk, keep your old knees warm if you're like me. I'm a runner too, so it's nice for me to get heat onto my joints underneath the desk while I'm working. Okay, so lighting. In the office itself, I've got 3 Philips Hue bulbs. 1, 2, 3, just up there for when I'm not recording videos like this. But for recording videos like this, I've just recently invested in 1 key light and 1 key light air. I did look around for alternatives, cheaper alternatives, but it was so close in price, I thought I might as well go for the Elgato. Even though it's a little bit more expensive, you tend to get what you pay for. And indeed I have. I'm really pleased with these lights. The main ceiling light in the office as well, if you're interested, is the Xiaomi ceiling light. All these lights are Bluetooth. You can bring up software on your PC and on your phone, change everything to where you want it. 3 Philips Hue bulbs in the office for videos, Elgato key light and a key light air, and the Xiaomi ceiling light and the Xiaomi ceiling light. Xiaomi. So believe it or not, the brain of this office isn't me. It's under the desk. It's my PC, and I actually built it myself. Bought the case, put in the motherboard, and attached everything to it. Took a while. It's actually quite easy, guys. Don't think you have to buy ready-made PCs. You can actually build them yourself from scratch to the specifications that you need for what you do. It's really not rocket science, even though you'd think it is. It's not. Get stuck in, build your own, get the specs that you want. The case that I built inside was the Cooler Master H 500p mesh white. I've just upgraded my chipset to the AMD Ryzen 9 3900. My video card, which I bought in 2018, is the 8GB Asus Radeon RX 580. That's the ROG Strix version. And if I sold it now, I'd actually get more money than what I paid for it back in 2018. I think that's something to do with Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, crazy mining situations, but I'm not selling it. It's great. My PC takes care of video and photography nice and fast. Internal storage, I've got 2 terabytes of internal storage running from a Samsung 860 EVO, which is rapid, and a Crucial MX500. 2 terabytes of internal. Don't forget I've got the NAS system as well, which is another 4 terabytes. The RAM that I use is Corsair Vengeance LPX DDR4. I actually want to upgrade my RAM, I think, and double that eventually when I've got the funds to do that. The motherboard, which I attached everything to, is the ROG Strix B450F Gaming, and I think it kind of future-proofed me for quite a while. I can add and take away bits and bobs. I've not changed much since I built it, apart from the biggest thing, which was the chipset, which I changed. I've always used Ryzen, but right now I'm on the Ryzen 9 3900, which is a beast basically, and handles everything that I throw at it, along with the graphics card. Really pleased with my PC, and it looks great too. I hope you've enjoyed this little video of my setup and what I use on a day-to-day basis. It's not a technical review of everything. You can go to guys like Gerald Undone for things like that, who are superb. Plenty of guys out there really drill down tech specs of everything that you need to get. This isn't that. It's just me sharing with you what I use. I hope you've enjoyed it, and hopefully I'll see you back for my next video. Peace out.